Am I here? I'm here. Do I look? Wow, I look really tired. Look at my eyes. They're so tired looking. But the question is, am I whining? I mean, am I winning? No, Tunic, I'm not. I'm losing the battle with sleep, which complicates my high blood pressure, and then stress and life. How are you, Tunic? Feeling crabby lately? I'll go with Sandy's. 30 inches of snow? My gosh. I live in Minnesota. It was 50 degrees today. No snow. This is the weirdest winter I think we've ever had here. It's heckin' February. There's no snow. And listen, I'm okay with not shoveling snow, but it's just weird in a city and state that's supposed to snow. It's not snowing. It's not even cold though. It's supposed to. This time of year, it's supposed to be freezing cold. Weird. I went for a walk today in a light coat. Technically, I could have been in shorts, but I'm just not typical Minnesotan. I'm streaming a little early because last night I went to bed a little bit later than usual. 1:30. I mean, not too. And then this morning, because my kids were giving my wife a hard time, I was awake really early. My eyes itch, and I considered not streaming tonight, but I'm like, I have to stream because Tunic will be here. I didn't know you'd be here today, but I hope you've been well. You guys starting a new game, or are you still working on Sandy's Great Escape? Right, Robodome. Oh wait, you're not the one that's working on Sandy's Great Escape. Who's doing that one? I'm sorry, Tunic. Clearly, I'm tired. How goes the dome? I conflated you with the other person. Oh, they didn't start with an A? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tunic. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm really sorry. Anyway, you're about to go to bed, so glad you popped in. I hope your dome is going well. We did a new loading screen. Ooh, boy, let's see this. I'm still in chat mode. I'm just gonna look at it. Ooh, I like it. That's the way. Did you do it yourself? Very fancy. New chip design. Stop bothering me, Gyazo thingy. Oh, that's cool. Like the chips are the things that are flying off. Is that what that is? Like the effect of the ability. Characters are on fire. The burning effect. Okay. I saw the burning effect too. In this case, burning enemies have a chance to spread their burn. Sick burn. Sorry. Robodome's looking pretty sweet. Did you guys put it on Steam yet? Is it on Steam yet? No, it's not on Steam, right? I don't think it's on Steam yet. Would have been good for next fest. Robodome is not on Steam yet. Got it. Pretty sweet. I'm glad it's going well. You're making progress, as in progress. Progress. My progress is ongoing and steady. We have finally solidified what we believe is our roadmap to launch for this year, and are figuring out how we want to communicate that externally. So that's good. I'm working on fishing. Problem is, I keep running into these things where, what the heck? I had extra hair on my head. Look at this. Oh, you can't even see it. I dwarfed my wife's hair or something. Every time I'm just like, okay, time to grind purely on story, I have things like this. Fishing. There's a little fishy in here. There you go. And I got a fish. Not for compliments, just for fishing. And that's what we're working on. Start the loop, close the loop, recycle, reduce, reuse, all that stuff. Anyway, I know you're about getting ready for bed too, Nick, so thanks for popping in and sharing your link. I hope that you have been well and that you are surviving the frigid Canadian winter in your snow shoveling enjoyment. Which does not sound fun to me, but YOLO? Hey Mendoza, how are you? I'm not drunk tonight. It's horrible, but nice work on the plan for the release. Thank you. We're trying to like circle the wagons a bit and get added support. Their problem is all the bugs and stuff that we've got to fix too. So we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. We also had an unfortunate experience with Unity where our contract developer got suspended because of some weird licensing things, and we had to he's back, but we haven't reinstated him in our org yet. I got to find out how to do that, or whether we can. So there's some weirdness going on that kind of sucks. And someone would be like, I told you so. I told you you shouldn't use Unity because you suck, Motsy. And I was like, yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? Do I have a way to create a jumper? I do. Okay. Let's figure out how I want to do this then. I could create one from scratch. Storyboard runner. Storygraph runner. I think this is the one. Okay. This is the thing that runs the nodes. So I kind of made something where it was kind of special and had it just based on like the type of node. Hot. But I could create a jumper on the fly. Doesn't have to be saved. I could target a storygraph and node. Let's YOLO this a little bit, shall we? So I'm just going to test to see if I can just get like my fishing menu loaded. Not going to do anything special. I'm going to break things and I'll be happy with it. So in our fishing node, we don't need to wait either. We have an execute, then we'll have a get next. Oh, I don't need this either. What's going on? No, don't open shop window. Just do that. Do I need to wait for anything for this? Probably, because I want to do some logic. Anyway. I think it's bool. No. Get next node. What is the okay, there it is. So we don't really want to get the next node here. We're gonna make our own node. So then we're going to make the next node equals new jumper. See what I did there? Is this a base jumper? No, it's just cool. And then we'll say next node. Do I even have a set jump target? Target? Node target. That's not settable. Target node, node target. Oh, that's the node. That's the. I don't even remember what I used this for. Oh, that's a conversion. Okay. So it's the target node that we need. Yes. Okay. We get a story graph and target node. So now what I'm going to do, because I've never actually used my jumpers this way. I'll have to make a setter for these. Well, actually, you know what I can do? Use my IDE. What's your problem here? Oh, it's because it's scriptable object. You can create scriptable objects on the fly, I think. No, you can't. Can you? No. I think what did I have to do? Like jumper dot. Forgot the values. I don't know how I feel about this. How dangerous is what I'm trying to do going to be? I suppose I could create a default jumper with the fishing spot node when it's created. I may not be a bad idea. So what I could do is, I'm working with nodes, okay? It's NodeBuddy's business but mine. Private jumper fishing. Hey, look at that. Look what I'm trying to do. So we'll serialize this. And I'm not even going to worry about fishing. I'm not even going to worry about how this is configured. I kind of want to do it automatically. So here's a question. Do I continue this nonsense of making a special node for a jumper and add all this logic? Or do I revise my story runner so I could give it jumper data without creating a jumper? A jumper is just something that can point to a different story graph. I think I want to do the latter because it's just unnecessary extra work to try to create a jumper node. I think what I need to do is have my own sort of jumper logic created here. Current node does not equal null and can continue. So this part right here that checks for a jumper, I would need to do some logic to give it different information. Add a little bit of extra logic here, but then that would mean I could have other nodes encapsulate jumps. So what I'm trying to do here is, originally when we set up this node system, you can create, whatever you want from a flow, but this is the concept of a mini game that I want to refer to. I don't want to make it every single time I want to do the fishing mini game. So I want to have a centralized place I use it. I also don't want to set up a jumper every time. So I want like the fishing spot node to encapsulate the reference to this game. So I don't need to hard code it. In the end, I can make it configurable, but for now, I want to. So what I'm going to do, I think, is write some ugly code. I'm gonna own it and talk to my developers about this. Just YOLO a go. So in order to pass in information that would represent a jumper, I think I should encapsulate that as some kind of DTO. That would be a legitimate way to somewhat encapsulate my solution. So we're going to go into our source code somewhere around here. Where's this? I'm in files. No wonder. Confusing me. Where's my SRC? So I go to my source, and in here I have a DTO folder for all my lovely DTO things. And I believe I put all my story stuff here. Yeah, okay. Do we have something that's called a story jumper? A storyboard jumper, but that's in configuration. That's legitimate. I don't think I used it. No, that's not what I did. So we're going to do it in here. We'll call it a story jumper. I'm kind of cheesing it a bit, but it's theoretically less work than the alternative. And it's not going to be a serialized object. We're just going to save ourselves some of that headache. So it's going to have a story. Oh my god. Story graph. Storyboard. Forgot what it's called. I'm gonna go to our jumper and find out. Story graph and story based note. Oh, games. Do you change it every time? Are you changing it because of my statement earlier about, gaming? Oh, dare. I didn't mean to go so deep on your stream. Boo-boo. I joined your stream and then everyone was talking about, deep topics. So I was like, well, I guess that's what we're talking about today. Didn't realize. You got something against video games? Video games got something against me is all I'm saying. Hi, Tom. How are you? Mr. Sutton, if you please. So, what I want to do is have it take... I guess I don't need a constructor. But constructors are more specified, so I should make one. I think because it is... You got a problem with the computer games? You got a problem with me? And if you have a problem with me, I'll have anxiety and go lay in bed. I got no problem with you, Tom. Not one. In fact, my bestie in Minnesota is named Tom. Well, I like Tom. I don't think he thinks I'm his bestie, but he's my bestie. I decided that since he's one of the few people I hang out with in Minnesota, in person, that I was like, well, you have to be my BFF. Clearly. How could you not be my BFF? Because you're the only person to hang out with. So by default. You don't get a choice. And he's like, okay, that works. You know, whatever. This is how I roll. Just make decisions and roll with it. And run with it. Okay, so we have a story jumper. So we have to create that in the thing. In here. Yeah. No. In here. Got it. Then what we're going to do, great way to refactor. So if the current node is a jumper, what would it be null? Oh, I'm going to have to figure that one out too. So we'll say var jumper data. New. Like pass the value in there. Okay. Oh, what's your problem? What did I do wrong? Private, public. Oh, maybe Tom Sutton meant, yeah, you were actually literally going to go lay in bed. Bye. Tom was having very serious conversations on his stream. I can't even remember the topic now. It was kind of politics. It was work. It was capitalism. Trooper's my BFF in Wisconsin, but you can be my BFF in Minnesota. BFF's best farting friend, because Trooper has gas. Hey, Roma, just thinking of you. And still remembering that, especially because you showed up in my, I don't know, slightly drinking experience, that I'm getting buzzes. That I forgot to go back and read the Discord messages that you sent me after having a 3 glass of wine night and then streaming. That was something for sure. Or shizzle. Okay, so what I think I want to do here. I think I might have to flip this a bit. So, oh man. I don't want to overthink this, but at the same time, I need to overthink this because current node is going to be null. It's all good. I will read it. I'm not ignoring it. I'm just forgetful. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a jumper thing in here. So public story jumper. Right, jumper. Work around to allow using jumper. Oop, God bless America. Stop it. There you go. So now we have context. Let's get context. 3, 2, 1. Context is the answer, is the reason. Yeah. Or dot current jumper not equal null. Right? So we have a current jumper, or that thing is there. I don't want to do the same freaking check twice. I just hate this so much. I think what I'm gonna do. I have this problem, just in general, with my life choices. So I don't like doing repetition. You heard me. I said I don't like doing repetition. Did I tell you, by the way, that I don't like doing repetition? Because I really don't. So then we're going to do miat. And so if story jumper is null, if the current node is jumper. Okay, good. Then this dot, boom. That's what we're going to do. There we go. So now we save ourselves, really nothing. But I feel better about it. That way, I know I'm instantiating a null value of something that's probably not going to take up much space. But now, meow, I have... Oh, I don't even need that either. Did I do that? Perfect. I don't even need the null. Perfect. Okay. Everything's hunky rooster. Not hunky dory. Hunky brewster. Do I want to use this? I want to use... Isn't there a lot of yeah, there's a lot of repetition in coding. There's a lot. But I don't like unnecessary repetition. You just stop it while Maelstrom was under your face waving the sword. Looked like you were talking to them. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. I keep looking at this background like someday I should change that. You ordered a pizza? Wow. Now that is quite the slice of life. Isn't it late there? It's pretty late to be eating. Have you like read the studies about eating too late? Saying. Oh, 2 pizzas. Are you gonna eat both of them? Are they like large? It's a lot of pizza. Pizza. I'll eat one, save the other. Oh, okay. So this should work. I don't think I broke anything, but thankfully this is the type of thing that'll break right away if something goes wrong. Okay, so now I'm going to do this whole next node garbage. We're going to say jumper equals. Actually, we need to get the values, right? We have to get the node, so we're going to say fishing game graph. Excuse me. Game engine dot system dot fishing game graph. I just don't want to do the dots a lot. What kind? Do they have meat? Are they meaty? I'm really burpy. My goodness. Okay, so we're not going to get the first start node. We're just going to get the first root node. Do we not have a root node? I thought I had a root node thing in here. All right. Root node. Okay, so I do have a root node thing, but maybe I just didn't pose it. No? Maybe somewhere else. Layout nodes. Root nodes equals. Story base node is root node. Okay. I guess I just never... Chicken pesto and chicken deluxe. I don't eat pork or beef. Neither do I. We're non-pork or beef buddies, Tom. I knew I liked you for a reason. Is it just because... Is there a specific reason other than the fact that beef makes you feel icky and pork is... All nodes. I'll give you face. All nodes. Okay, bulky. I gotta say 2 lists. I think. 2 lists. Cannot convert. Am I in the right place? I don't think I'm in the right place. So let's just unwind here a little bit. Huh. I don't think that's the right thing. So it would be what? I just avoid mammal meat because cows are nice and pigs are nice, but birds are evil. That makes peckin' sense. I did start early, Killboy. I started early because you told me I had to. Yeah, I started early. For sure. That's the right note. So that's the right graph. But this dot nodes must be something different. Okay. I really want to cast them. Do I have nodes in here? Layout nodes, just nodes, nodes list. Okay. I guess I had something right, but the other thing wrong. Every once in a while, a spider will just come down right in front of my face. Very terrifying. I was up super early this morning, and you might appreciate this, Killboy. The VA has asked me. The VA is the Veterans Affairs of the United States of America. I don't need that one. Has asked me to do a study because I was in Iraq for the war, quote unquote. And so I was like, oh, sure, I'll go do this study. And it turned out that the meeting today was like 2 hours, and then the next thing I have to do is like a full day of testing because they're trying to test neurological. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. I'm not trying to make fun of people who have actual neurological issues, but like, you know, I got a nervous tick, and you like do the little thing. So they're trying to test neurological effects of the war, essentially. As you guys can tell, I'm perfectly normal, so I'm a perfect test subject. So I thought, well, the way the person laid it out to me is like they're going to do all this cognitive testing. They're going to, you know, really, and it would be good to like go there with a fresh mind so you're ready for it. And of course, I didn't go to bed early enough last night, but I'm like, it's okay. My wife's taking the kids. It'll be fine. So then I got woken up at like 6 or 6:30, and then the kids were screaming at my wife, and like I'm trying to sleep, but I could tell she's getting frustrated, and they were getting worse. So I stomped downstairs in my underwear, by the way, and our back window is just wide open. So hello, neighbors. And I was like, rah, 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 you know. And then after that, I can't go back to sleep. So I was super tired. I think I got 5 hours of sleep last night. And so I go to this thing like, oh my God, they're going to be testing me, and my brain barely works right now. Luckily, it was no testing today. It was just like 1 hour of filling out forms and then 1 hour of questions. It's 2 hours of really a long time. I hope you all appreciate that. No one said, Monty, tell us a story. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm telling you a story. You're going to get work done while you tell a story? Nope. Just going to tell a story. That's how it goes. Sorry. Not sorry. That's how I roll. So if we don't have anything, we can't return anything. Context dot. Anyway, how are you, Killboy? Oh, you might also appreciate this, Killboy, because you didn't ask me to tell you. Oh, had to get my lens cap. A free test. You might appreciate this, though. I was talking to the woman. I knew she was young because, you know, she's like a young 20-something, I would guess. And she's asking me questions about, like, this is so absurd. Listen. Oh, my God. Like, okay, have you ever had a head injury outside of the military? And I was like, well, not really. I mean, I don't really, it's hard to remember head injuries, but I'm fairly certain I haven't had a lot. I remember when I was a really young kid, I fell off some bleachers and like I hit my head on a rock. And so the top of my head got split open a little bit. And so they took me to the urgent care. Oh, hey, Walber. I'm going to finish my story. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for the raid, Walber, by the way. You'll get a shout out, but I'm also going to do the Walber thing. I'm going to tell everyone who just came from Walber stream about Walber, in case you're wondering. That's him. In case you didn't figure that out already. So Killboy, I'll finish my story. And it's like, I was 3 or 4, and she's asking me specific questions. Like, well, do you remember how you felt after you hit your head? Did you lose any memory afterwards? I'm like, I'm sure I lost a lot of memory. I'm, you know, fairly old. And so it was just funny, some of these questions, like, she's asking me for specific months and year, and I'm like, February? No idea. Hey Raiders. I think I know a lot of you because I'm fairly certain a lot of you go hang out with Wallaber, and I poke around there occasionally. But if I don't know you, this is the game I'm working on. It's called Alterium Shift. And by working on, I mean I'm telling some stories and kind of pushing code. I've been very ineffective at solving problems. I'm not a Wallaber streamer. I'm a talker. Which would be weird to consider that I'm an introvert, but whatever. So, to finish my story, Killboy, during this interview with this woman, she starts asking me things like, oh, because I did demolitions, like, when was the last time you did, you were near demolitions, controlled explosives? And when was the first time? And I can't remember the ordering of events, but there was one date, I'm like, oh, well, that happened in January of 2001. I was in Blender most of my stream making mini-map mesh. Well, that's cool too, right? Versus staring at code while someone tells you a story. Hi, Walter. And I said, oh, it's like January 2001. And she goes, oh, that's when I was born. I was like, oh my God. I feel so old. I mean, legitimately, she could have been my child if I had a kid when I was in my early 20s. If I had done what some people did when they got right out of college and like just had babies, or like middle of college, some people have done that, right? She would have been my kid. That's insane. You're not the only one, Mendoza. Yeah, I mean, I work with people who are in their 20s, and I kind of like, I've conceptualized the fact that I'm older, but now it's real. And Mendoza, I'm what I think they call a zillennial, so I'm on that, like, the borderline of Xer and millennial, so I kind of live between both worlds. I'm 42, turning 43. So apparently those are the rules. Sorry, I can't break them. But you know, it's really funny to me, and I don't really like. it's the funny part is like, I don't know if it's me or my perceptions, but honestly, the Gen Z and Gen Z, I think that's Gen Z. They seem much more mature than my generation did when we were that age. I was like, why is it that they all seem much more like they got their heads on straight? I don't think myself or the people I knew had their heads on straight when they were that age. So I guess it was the Gen Xers that raised the Gen Zers. So we'll see how Gen A does from the millennials. So far, our kids are shaping up just fine. So hopefully it'll be okay. I'm working on a fishing mini game. And this is my nodes. And it's node buddy's business but mine. So I'm just trying to get the base components to start showing up. I got a lot of work to do here. And what I might try to do tonight, if I can, which is almost impossible with all the talking I do, is just see if I can get it to open and like play with this mini game map. So I'm just trying to get to that. I have to remind myself that I can't get too hung up on perfection. Despite the, I just told my developers today, someone said, "Oh, don't let perfect be the enemy of good." I said, I don't like that statement. And I don't like that statement because it implies you shouldn't try for something better than good, right? It doesn't mean avoid getting things done. All right, Wallaber, thanks for the raid. Hope the picking up of your daughter works well. I mean, then they get older, I think they get heavier, and then you got body problems. My daughter is like violent. She tries to beat me up all the time. Okay, so now when we open the fishing node, let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this stupid menu node. I'm going to make an outcome happen. That's what we're going to do. Because we need to feel like something is actually occurring. We're going to go to this execute. We're going to return false, so it's just going to forever execute. We're going to import that, and we're just going to do a debug log. Do I want to do it in? I think I want to do it. How do I want to do this? I want to do script builder. I don't even remember my. I don't remember my add execution branch. No, runtime. There you go. No, not run fishing menu. Runtime code. There we go. Actually, I think I have like a debug message. Debug. Yeah. In fishing menu. Because in game dev, it's much better to just put a bunch of log statements everywhere. Who needs to write code, right? I mean, who needs to use debuggers? So write coding is what you have to do. Okay, so then if I go from the fishing spot node, it opens, it'll get next node. I don't care about this. Result equals false. And then it'll loop again and result. That should just fall through. If I did this right, when we go to the node, it will trigger the next step. I'm not even worried about what visually shows up right now. But it's going to take a second for this to compile. You guys like my pretty little colorful inspector stuff? I saw this thing called V hierarchy. Oh, and I decided to get it because I realized when it's for the streaming, because when I'm streaming, it's harder for me to talk and read. I lose a lot of cognitive ability. I swear that's why I don't do so well. It's because the streaming. And seeing the color coding help. Oh, colors. UI. Look at that. Happy-go-lucky. It also has this neat little like built-in enable disable. If I want to just turn off the fishing menu, I can just do that instead of having to go open the inspector. Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this cognitive testing I'm going to do for the VA. I'm going to find out some bad news. Like my kids and my wife all scored like in the 120, like the low 120s of their IQ tests, and I'm going to get like 82 or something. I'll make sure I get enough sleep, so maybe I'll get 90 if I'm lucky. I don't know if they do IQ tests actually. I'm not sure the full scope of the testing they're going to do. They're going to confirm whether or not I have a brain, which I think is step 1. I'm not sure if there's a step 2. We have fishing here, and what we're going to do is we're going to just circumvent the fishing. Advanced event trigger fishing spot. It's going to take a second because it's loading the data from the system. All right, so we're going to, oh my gosh, we're going to, so many different, let's just get rid of all this crap. Just clear it. I did this because if there was like a Smile Game Builder existing set of events, I don't always want to override their stuff. So on top, this is going to stop. We're going to clear the script ID so there's no Smile Game Builder script and figure out where the hell we are. You have enough cognitive ability to call BS on your boss. Some people would say the reverse of that problem. Right? That people who have lower cognitive ability will say things that are opposed to the people in charge. Although because I'm an executive at our company, it's okay, right? Because I think it would be legitimate to consider that I should be able to tell my boss things. Otherwise, it wouldn't work at the company. Okay, so this should work. Let's try it out. Let's go fishing. If it does work, that means we have a path. Which, one of the things I get hung up on, this is something developers get hung up on a lot. And frankly, until I started doing game dev, it was still a problem that I would regularly have, is trying to write too much code before you know whether it works. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. If you guys watch Wallaber might spend an hour writing code. And then he's like, okay, let's go test it. But Wallaber will also actually spend an hour writing code. I'll sit here like, oh, what about this? What if I do this? And I won't make cohesive progress if I try to build all the code first and then test it. Unless I truly, truly know exactly what I'm doing. So usually I need to get something, a little path, that then I can kind of build off of. If I don't do that, I'll just never make any progress. Not that the fishing mini game has been what? This is the 3rd stream I've had with this on. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, it's no longer walkable because I messed with it. So what happened? If this works, oh good, crashed. Perfect, exactly what I wanted to have happen. Oh, wait, I know what happened. Oh, no. Oh, I can't stop it either. Can I do it from here? Stop. It'll work. Might have just crashed Unity. I know exactly what I did, and I feel sad. Nope. I created a never-ending loop. I might have to quit it. UniHub, don't open. Stop that. Oh, what did I just open? So embarrassing. We're gonna just go force quit the Uni editor. How pathetic. Yeah, I just killed it. I created an infinite loop because I never cleared out the jumper after I created it. Which has to happen, I guess, after the jumper was used. So in here, when we get the jumper data, so if the jumper is not null, no matter what happens, actually, we want to make the current jumper null. Because if we don't do that, it'll every time it hits this loop, it's gonna try to run the jumper. Amateur, a rookie mistake, but again, cognitive ability, right? This is why I test it, though, right? I mean, had I gone through the whole process of building all, like, wiring the UI and getting all the pieces in there, and then tried to test this, I'd have all this other code that I spent time on before I know whether I can get this to work how I want it. Fortunately for all of us, this project happens to build extremely slowly. Which isn't just a problem with my project, apparently, but ours is a little bit slower than others. Oh, and I lost the fishing graph because it crashed. I wonder if it's even here. It might have gotten lost. Oh, it's here. Okay. I'm glad I didn't fully lose it. All right, well, let's try again, I guess. Got the task manager open. Did I rebuild the code? Let's see. Yeah, code is there because it was when it started. Give it a go. Give it a go, give it a go, give it a go now. We have wonderful new users of the game that are finding bugs everywhere. It's great. The music might be a little loud. Turn down a smidge. Okay, try again. Any bets on whether this is going to work? Hold on to your butts. There you go. It works. Okay. So I've confirmed that we go into the fishing menu. So well, it's gonna, unfortunately, the way the debugger works here, it doesn't take me to the place in the code where that gets called. I have to go like find the stack thing. Oh no, it doesn't, because it gets injected. So it doesn't even show the node. That's stupid. I hate that. Gamer. So what is this? Okay. Is this a meme? Is that what the kids call them? I mean, you're apparently older than me, Mendoza, but is this whole gamer thing, is it like an elderly meme? Because Tom Sutton would say gaming or gamer, and with a little smile and a wink and a nudge. And Stoff would say the same thing. And Stoff said, there's nothing about it. It's just funny. And I don't know what it means. There's got to be some actual meaning behind it, right? It's not just like an inside joke where everyone just says gaming or gamer. J Blow Gamer, I use it to congratulate someone. But what is J Blow Gamer? I mean, I know Jonathan Blow, but what is there more context to this? I'm so not cool. I don't know things. I never did. When I was younger, I would pretend like I knew it because I didn't want people to make fun of me. Now I just own who I am. People can make fun of me all they want. But I want to know. I don't care about being stupid. I just want to know. Anyway, so we've confirmed that the menu will load. That is exactly what I wanted to do. So now we get to this menu node. I don't know things either. Well, Killboy, at least we're in the same boat. See, Tom Sutton. And I know that Tom and Stoff both understand that it bugs me. And they're both going to keep saying it means nothing. I'm complimenting you, man. Oh, thank you. So I'm ranting about something that's completely unrelated to Tom Sutton. It is one of those things like you're telling me what it is, but I'm not believing you. Like my belief is there's something more, and it's truly like no, I just like games. That's it. Gamer, you know. Just have trouble believing it. Anyway. Okay, so we have made Kroggers, and I think I can actually cheese this a little bit. So there's existing logic that what's his face Jacob already made for the whole system of making the character cast. So I think what I can do is start on a simple level, just stealing what he already did and turning them into them. It's silly to just say games on a video game website. Yeah, I think that's what Stoff said too once. I want the funny to make sense. I want it to make sense in like a way that intuitively is funny. And I understand that you're saying it is because you're saying it's a video game website and you're like gamer gaming. But it doesn't, my brain doesn't understand. I also burped. Sorry. I hope I'm not missing out on like, no. On my YouTube, I stream to YouTube as well, just for the sake of it, you know, evergreen content. And the last time I streamed, at the end, Companion Wolf, someone I knew from the old days, chatted in my chat, and I don't know if I missed it or not, so I'm like, I'm trying to watch it to make sure I don't miss it. I pay for a J Blow subscription, so I might as well use his icons. Oh, fair. I didn't know that that was J Blow. I guess it says right there, J Blow Gamer. Got it. Do you like Mr. Blow? Or does he go by John or Johnny? Funny, his name is J Blow. Never mind. What? Mendoza, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. You mad lad. Now I can use your icons too. You can use me all you want. Or my icons, I mean. 2024. Thank you. H Mendoza 2000. So is 2001 a significant number? Was that the day you were born? No, because you said you're older than me. Or is it a resub? Oh, or the tier 1. I'm so glad to have you part of the Motzi Makes Maker crew. The MMMC. I just made that up. Oh, hell no. That was the year I settled on my email username. Yeah, you know, I used... back in the day, before I even knew what chat was, like when I first learned about it in high school. Back in the day. I was on some like IRC chat and it said give a name, or I didn't know how to give a name, and the name I had was Dummy. And I thought it was so funny as a name to call yourself Dummy that I started using that as my for places. I still have it used in some places. Not anymore though. I liked silly, stupid names. Okay, so what I was opening Smile Game Builder. Oh, guess what? Ooh, I'm going to share some news. Oh, crap. I mean, it's not like... I think it's pretty cool news. And I didn't get permission to say it, but I'm sure said person won't mind. We have another person working on our team on a contract basis. You know, just a little amazing pixel artist. Pretty cute person as far as I can surmise. Little guy named Cup of Joe. You guys know who he is? I think it's okay that I'm saying this because he's probably going to be streaming some of the work that he's going to do for us. So right now we're just kind of getting the starter up going, but we got Cup of Joe working for us. You said you didn't want to work with us, Tom Sutton. You said you had your own things to do with your Game Boys and your patrolling of paws. Right, Joe. Right. I talked to you, Mr. Sutton. Or MX Mix Sutton. I don't know. What do you go by? Hey, look at that. We have someone. Hi, what are you doing? I cannot speak Indonesian. This is from I'm talking to the YouTube chat now. Which is on my... Oh, look at that. Can I speak Indonesian? It's on the multi-stream chat. No, I cannot. But I am working on a game called Alterium Shift. Which I don't know. Let me see if I can get the link for it. I mean, you're a cute guy too. Let's see here. Can I? Oh, I can't post it in that chat. That's stupid. Here we go. That's what I'm working on right there. Alterium Shift. Retro-inspired JRPG. We're working on some proper and official communication about the launch date. Still working around some plans. As you can see, we're getting some talented individuals involved. Tom Sutton, you are cute. You got a good vibe. I like your energy. I have trouble with over-gushing, so I'm going to stop there. I think you're pretty cool. Thought you should know. But either way, anyway, Cup of Joe is going to be doing some work with us. We started him on some, some character stuff, but we have just, an overwhelming amount of work we have to get done. Not a big budget, but, Joe's cool. And he's already doing some stuff for us. And that's the story, Morning Glory. Where's my Smile Game Builder? There. Nope. There it is. This is Smile Game Builder coming at you live from the games of Smiles. Now we want to do Summonton Plains. Hopefully I didn't scare Errol Putra away. This is the fishing. This is the fishing in the classic style. This is what. So Jacob has this logic he put together. I never wanted to do fishing. I was like, "There's no way I'm going to do it." And he's like, "I'm making it." Excuse me. I'm not going to worry about things like setting loops or anything like that. I do need to. Sorry, I'm a little gassy. I do need to figure out how these images work, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. So what does he do here? Change character graphic. Okay. So it's fish cast, fish cast, fish cast. So I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to roll with it. He just uses an animation called fish cast. So we're going to go in here to our fishing game. Because we're gamers. We're gaming with their fishing game. Mini games. So yeah, by the way, you can kind of... I'm not sure how readable that is. I need to get like a screen zoomer. I'm going to have... So the way I'm going to use the graphs is I'm going to make mini games in little graphs. So we can have reusable mini games that we use sort of like the fishing system. And we can just drop nodes in. And then this will be the brains of the mission. The mission game. The mission finishing game. So rather than put these nodes here for the mom, I'm going to like just disconnect this crap. Boom. So we're going to do start and change character graph. Ooh. Change. I want to play motion. play motion, I think. Is player. I don't think I need a map. If it's a player, I don't need a map reference. And then I want to call it fish. Tom, you're amazing. I'm just saying. You got all quiet. Now I feel like I offended you. I'm sorry for offending you, Tom. The gamer who does gaming. We're going to make starting rotation none. Aha, I'm just working, man. I hope your pixel pushing is going well. Okay, so we changed the graphic. I guess I could move the camera control. I think this is going to be something we're going to have to specify somewhere. So I'm just not even going to worry about it right now. But I'm going to play with like changing the graphic, right? And then he also does something where, oh man, he has like a... Oh, he has like a graphic for the bobber. I'm not going to worry about the bobber right now. And then I'm not going to worry about them giving a fish tug. Tugging their fish, if you know what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm tired. Okay, so do I care about any of this right now? No. I think I'm going to play the animation just for the fun of it, just so I can like confirm that it works. I'll give it like a 1 second wait. And then I'm going to jump into like showing the fishing system. So we're going to get rid of fish cast for a second, because actually I might not even need this one. And we're going to make a hook. Reeling. I don't think I even need hook. We're going to need reeling. So the fish reeling is going to be the thing that actually handles, you know, the reeling in animation. Let's go back to our UI. What was it? Fishing. Okay. So we'll turn this back on, and we will hide these things. Oh my god. Please don't do that one. Oh, I can just hide them this way. I forgot. Oh, that's really cool. I can just select them all. Oh, wow. This little hierarchy thing is pretty neat. Did I put it in fishing, I guess? Yes, I should. This does not have a controller on it, I don't think. I don't want the fishing game controller. I would need a fishing UI controller, I think. Right? Because the game controller is going to be the thing that... Oh, can it be a UI controller? Is there a reason to have fishing separate from the UI? Fishing game controller. I guess not. I guess I could make the fishing game controller the same. So let's go open that up. It breaks my rules. I might have to change the name of it. We'll call it the fishing UI controller. I don't like this because I'm realizing I've been breaking some rules about separating UI from back end, but fishing game. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna call it fishing game controller. Screw it. That's it. We're gonna keep it the same. Is there something in here that tells it to start? No. Okay, that's good. Should be able to just set it. Fishing game controller. Now this has the controller that's needed to set up these things. So the fishing gauge has to be a window. to the windows, to the wall. But I'm going to make a controller for it. Yes. Okay. This is in minigame. Stop that. Fishing. I'm sort of conflicted here. Part of me feels like I should move minigame underneath here. We have all the different UI pieces here. But I have a fishing subfolder. So what I'm going to do is do this. Fishing gauge UI controller. Oh, that's... I didn't spell gauge right either. Guage. Fishing Guage UI controller. I don't know why gauge gives me so much problems. Alright. And I think that should be... Oh, no, it's not going to be a monobeaver. It's going to be a window. UI window? Yes. Okay. This is going to be a thing that we can open and close, basically. And I think that I should be able to get away with doing it from my controller. And I think since the controller is like the main thing that kicks things off, I can either make the window listen for an event or I can use the controller. I've been kind of conflicted on how I do this. But I think that like it's kind of MVC. So the controller itself feels like it should be the brains of the game, which means it should know what gauges can or can't show. So we're going to just go with that. UI window. Fishing. Let's call it gauge window. Gauge window. Yes. Yes, that's what we want to do, right? Yes. I think I can just configure it rather than do anything else in here. Okay, so I do need to make it required. Just to remind myself. And is fishing... Not going to worry about that at the moment. So what I'll do is I will create... I'll make this the gauge. So the next step I'm going to do is if this becomes a window, then when I start the fishing, it'll do the cast and then this thing will pop up. That's it. I'm not doing anything fancy yet. I'm just trying to get the connecting pieces. Because once I have all the pieces connected, I can go back and do the individual refinement. And I want to live up to my promise. In my my announcement message, it was like, it's going to be really good today because we're going to work on reeling things in. Okay, anyway. Why does that have a UI fader on it? Weird. Fishing gauge UI controller. I like that. Yeah, Mendoza. What I was saying earlier is like, I'm actually newer to that type of thinking. Streaming game dev has been how I was able to learn how to let go of perfection and making everything perfect before I start writing things, and finding the perfect solution. I've had to just do. And there's a lot of code I've written where I kind of regret writing it, but if I hadn't, I wouldn't have as much done. I've sort of grown to accept, grown as in GROAN, but maybe there's a W one as well, to accept that that's how it is. Okay, so I'm going to start with this close. And then the next thing I need to do is set up my game controller so I can get an instance of it. Which I wish there was a better. I shouldn't be doing this. This is, by the way, one of the things I acknowledge is writing your system so all these objects are singletons is. I'm overusing and bastardizing a pattern. At the same time, I get things done faster. And as long as I do it consistently, I guess, I don't know. I don't love that I'm doing this, but at the same time, I'm also okay with doing it. If my developers can see me now, I'm just like, I'm fearful now because my developers know that I write code on stream. I'm fearful that some of them secretly watch me and they're going to judge what I do. Because I'm sitting around these calls like, here's what I think we should do. And here's how I think things should work. I mean, I'm not like a jerk about it. I actually let everybody contribute to the conversation. But, you know, I have opinions. I always test it. Today we had a really good conversation about how to migrate a legacy platform into a newer system. And it's a struggle because you have so much work to do. Sometimes you just go back to the old system and say, I'm going to fix it there instead of moving it into the new system. And so I'm trying to change or help change the thinking towards how we can constantly make progress to migration. Because when I left that team 3 years ago, I set up the platform so it could be migrated over time, and it's kind of floundered a little bit over time. And I don't even blame them because it's really hard to do, but at the same time, it's time to do more, right? Let's see. So we're going to want to have a... And but I did, when we started the conversation, I was like, I want you guys first to talk about your ideas. And I found myself like taking over the conversation. I'm like, nope, stop. Motzi. I didn't call myself Motzi. Like, discussion. I said, I'm going to step back and I'll let you guys continue. And then they're continuing. And I'm like, I want to say something. Okay, I'm going to wait. And then when it felt like they were kind of stuck, like circling around a similar topic, I'm like, okay, I'm going to move it forward. got to go forward. Anyway, we do awake. I think awake is all we need. Right? You're all I need. I actually don't. Yeah, it's because it's a mono behavior, and it's not going to be a window. So that's fine. So then we get the instance. Now I can reference the instance. So this is where I'm bastardizing things. What I should do, and I know I should do this, is I should figure out the proper way to do dependency injection and have what's called a DI container. Although what some people would claim is you're not completely solving your problem if you take like 20 different classes and make a gigantic container for dependency injection. Versus like, well, I could also just make it freaking static. I know it's a singleton, it's game dev. The scope is very well managed. So why make it so hard? Oh, well, then it's harder to test. It's harder to do unit testing. Don't worry. I don't do unit testing, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh, so sad. I am glad to have ChatGPT because I have an idea about doing effect. Okay, no one asked for this, but I'm telling you anyway. I have an idea that I think would be really cool if I can figure out how to make it work. Which would be, what would I call it? It's like inline unit testing. And so my thought process would be that if I wanted to test this method, either it would happen like at the bottom of the class or even inline here. I could write the tests as part of this or have the reference to something that's like generated for the test of this class that gets tested real time. So what I mean is like, I don't like unit tests because of all the mocking and garbage that you have to do. What I would prefer is to be able to say, listen, when I turn on my testing system and I run the game, I want it to check the values that come in or do specific tests at the time that it's executing to tell me whether it's functioning like it should. I still don't know. I still don't know if it's a great idea, but it's an idea I really want to do. And there's some components to it that I'm not going over right now, just because it gets more complicated the more I think about it. But I just don't like the idea, like, okay, I'm going to create all these unit tests, and then I'm going to have to, like, I write a method, now I go write a class in another place, and then I create mocks and scaffolding and other crap in order to test it. I just hate it. Hey man, that is what what I like about game development too. People in our industry get fixated to dependency injection, test-driven development, and all that crap. They come up with a web page that takes 10 seconds to load, while freaking Rockstar is doing GTA 6. Yeah, I got the why I like. Yeah. But you have to understand, Mendoza, until I started doing game development 3 years ago, I was one of those people like, no, the right way is dependency injection. And there is a place for well-engineered solutions that have some level of complexity to them, that are flexible, but you have to learn a little bit about the system to use it. I'm not saying that's not something you shouldn't do. I mean, that's not something you shouldn't do. That turns it into positive, right? But I did it all the time. I'm like, no, if we're going to do this, we need to do it the right way. And I would spend hours like drawing diagrams and finding the right path and then trying to write the code. And there's a couple things that I learned. Motzi rant time. Okay. I'm clearly off track. There's a couple things I learned about this. One, architecture. Diagrams need to be simple and enough to convey the message, and they should not be used as a precursor to actually writing. Diagrams are nice and helpful for thinking about problems, but they shouldn't be a situation where it shouldn't be where, okay, I'm going to architect the whole solution, now go implement it. Because every heckin' time, I try to do that, I always like the diagram just goes to crap afterwards. It's not useful because right after you start writing code, the diagram becomes useless. That's one problem. Then the other problem is you get this idea in your mind about some perfect solution, and you architect it, you develop. You've got this you show someone like, look how cool this is. Now I can add like 20 different versions of this thing, and it's going to fit in here. I'm going to use the adapter pattern, and it's going to be the command pattern. It's all going to plug in perfectly. And then the use case is you use it once or twice. And then later you come back and look at it like, why were we doing this? What is the reason? I had 2 different cases. I wrote my code so I could do like 100 cases of it, and it would be really well managed. But we only did it twice. As it turned out, that's all we need. So when people say don't early optimize, that's what they mean. Don't build a perfect solution until you're 100% sure that's going to be the solution long term that you're going to want to do. And I've sort of why am I getting why is one of my developers is texting at 9:30 at night? I think maybe he's working on a bug or something. Sorry, distracted. I don't remember what I was saying. What I've learned is you can get to that outcome, but you do it over time. So you can, if you have in your mind, okay, I want to have a really nice configurable solution. You start writing, you start writing your code as quick as you can and get to a solution. In mind, you're like, okay, I know this isn't going to be the final, but at least I got something working. And then you rearrange it. And then you say, oh yeah, this is the context that fits. Oh yeah, this is how I'm going to solve this problem. Some of that takes knowledge and experience. So sometimes you had to have done the over-engineering to know what problem you can solve properly. Right? Like I've done enough coding to understand that a context is good for a situation in which you don't want to have some static definition, especially in Unity, and I'm using like scriptable objects. I have to pass a context because the context is at runtime. Context is a thing that's been around forever. It's just like a thing that contains stuff that you need to use. It's like a container, like a DI container almost, but in this case, it's just a context. And so, like, okay, I know there's a context. I know it's something that's going to have values. I need to pass to a bunch of different objects. So I have one context, multiple objects, and that's where my primary definition is. The context is shitty in some ways. Like, it's got stuff in it that shouldn't be there, but it's contained one place. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's not bad enough to make me feel too bad about myself. Oh, you guys can't see my screen. I'm sorry. I was ranting and I forgot that I wasn't sharing my screen. So I have a problem where if I don't optimize ahead of time, the program will not fit the platform. Well, Tom, I don't know what to tell you about that. I think that's different type of optimization. Fox Hollow Games, thank you for the follow. Fox Hollow. All right, I don't know. Thanks for the follow. Do you make games? I assume that's what your name means. That happened to me so many times, but it wasn't necessarily it wasn't me doing it, but my fellow coworker. I've already had to put it together and take it apart a couple of times. Yeah, but I still think that's a different, like, contextually, I'm talking about middle tier software. I'm talking about software that's living on systems in which you can basically do whatever you want. Do you stream? Are you a Foxy streamer? 147. Look at you. Okay, follow. What are you making? You may not like this, but uh-oh. I don't know if I have my audio on. I like your bow tie. Current playtest, Morse code. Build, build, build. You even give people the clap? That's awesome. You heard me. Oh, this is a clip. I thought it was your video or something. He did what? You are very clean cut. I was never good at looking that clean cut. I like your Gantt chart. Well, you know, drop a follow. Fox follow a follow. Anyway, I'll stop with that joke. Sorry. I'm sold on the bow tie. I'll give you a shout out. There's like a shout out. Shout out. There it is. Fox. Hollow Games. That? Look at that. I never use that shout out method. Welcome. Glad to have you here. What I didn't actually read on your stream. What game are you making, or do you have something to share, like a video clip or anything? You need to learn. Thanks for the warm welcome. Well, we all got to learn. Learning doesn't stop. One of my favorite... Oh, God, I'm going to start ranting again. Can I write code and tell this story? That's the question. Is it something... Can I do this? You know, the whole, like, pat your head and rub your tummy thing. Or have you guys seen this one where you have to, like, make your fingers go away from each other and come back? It's really funny. Totally unrelated. So can I tell this story and write code? Okay. When I was in my first startup company that I was part of, I hired a friend of mine who had never really coded. I think he was learning Java and doing a pretty bad job of it. I mean, he was writing code, but it was like, you know, someone who doesn't know anything about code. It was a big mess. And he's like super senior and really amazing, right? I haven't worked with him in a long time, but he's a really amazing developer. And I wouldn't attribute that all to me. Like, he was a self-learner. He'd like read books and learn how to code. And I remember once joking with him. He's like, well, these problems are so hard. He was like junior-ish. He's a little bit better than junior. And I said, don't worry. When you get to be senior, it doesn't get better. You just have bigger problems to solve. You always feel like you don't know the answer. Like, that's the plight of development. You never have the answer, ever. Any developer who comes to me in the interview and says that they're like a 10 out of 10, I'm like, all right, go find somewhere else to work. Because I think if any developer thinks that they've hit the pinnacle of developmentness and they can solve every problem they possibly can, First off, if that's true, they'll never be happy working with me. And if it's not true, which is most of the time, then they have the Dunning-Kruger effect happening where they believe their abilities are better than they actually are. As like senior developers, yeah, we don't know what's going on either. We just know more of what's not going on. I'm building a racing roguelike. Oh, do you know Wallaber? Wallaber likes games that have racing in them. Wallaber is working on racing car garage racing car garage racing rally. I can't never remember the name. Needs some marketing polish on that. Racing car rally, garage rally, racing garage park. I don't know why it's so hard to remember it. Why can't I remember the name of? So that might be a problem, Wallaber, who's probably not listening right now. It is. Here it is. Parking garage rally. There we go. I don't know why it's like racing garage rally. Parking garage rally. That shouldn't be hard to remember. PGR. Pretty good racing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I'm trying to get this UI controller to show. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So I got to go into here. Went on a rant as I am apt to do and lost my way. I apologize for that. I think I went on the rant from I was talking about static using singletons everywhere. Mendoza, I was probably someone that would annoy the heck out of you in my earlier years of development. By the way, because I would be one of those people who created a really complicated system. Although I would say that I have done some pretty good jobs with that in the past where it wasn't just something completely useless. I've had my fair share of blunders, but it wasn't, the one guy that used to work for me completely over engineered a solution. And I was looking at it today and I was like, why are we even doing that? It was just like so over engineered, and it was about like the naming convention was weird, something like a data marshaller. And I mean, I remember talking to him about it and there was some value to it, but looking at it now, I was like, why? Like, why did we do that? It was too much. It's probably my fault. I'm sure I'm like, well, why don't you try this? And then, turned into what it did. What I'll do here is I'm going to put like a, is this start reeling, I guess? Maybe. This dot age window. I don't think it has show, does it? No. Open. Open with focus is opening. Start window open on open window. I think it's supposed to be called by an event. How do I do it with my other things? We'll just call that. That should make it show up, I think. Then we're going to go to our reeling node. Nothing else. I'm going to get the reeling node in there. And maybe if I'm lucky, I can make it so when you push a button, it does something. Oh, Punky Chip, you're so cool. Look at that. Punky Chip showed up on my stream. And just subbed almost immediately. I wasn't working on code. That's probably why. Punky Chip showed up. I was not working on code or ranting. I was playing a game. And, that's what happened. Immortalization? Is it two M's in immortal? Immortalization. Yeah, it's 2 M's. Mortal. Tization. Okay, that's right. Anyway, sorry. Completely irrelevant. Let's do this execute. So we're gonna do execute. Because it's just a cute little execute. You're so cute. And then we're gonna do something, funky here. So yeah, you are reeling in the fish. It's really good. Whatever. Runtime code. I think I need to do runner. Ryder is too stupid to know that word. Are you a Vim? I forgot. Do you use Vim? Is that what you use? You one of those people? Or Notepad++? I think I ranted about IDEs on Saturday. I'm pretty sure I did, in fact. How do I do this? So I need to do the thing that locks everything out. Lock the access to controls. Although by this point, I think the controls would be locked already. But what did I steal this from? I stole it from... shop, right? Shop. No, it is what I stole. I'm gonna steal this code. Oh no, Tom, it's crying. Oh wait, do you use Notepad++? Oh, you got a problem with Notepad++? You got a problem with me? No. I use VS Code. Sorry, everyone. I apologize. Now VS Code is free. Fine. Nothing wrong with it. I have the same opinions I did when I was younger as a development lead and director and stuff. Oh, Sublime. I hope it's Sublime. But I'm a bit of a realist nowadays, especially in the game dev industry. If the tool works for you and you get sheets done and you get it done effectively, it doesn't matter, right? The only reason it matters in terms of the people who work for me is consistency. So I'm okay if I don't care if people use Notepad++ or whatever. I've never really cared. I just care that if people who work for me are going to work for me, they use the same tool set, which won't be Notepad++. If you're going to work in a team, you got to use what the team uses. Gotta be. Okay. Start your reeling. Okay. Then the waiter is going to be true. And we're going to do here. Actually, I'm just going to make the waiter just be a waiter right now. Waiter, check, please. That'll be good. Yeah. So if my calculations are correct, when I start the fishing, Atlas will do a little cast animation, and then the gauge will open up. Again, I'm trying to just get a path, because I know all the things that need to happen, but the most important is, can I start the fishing process and make sure I get to the place I need to make the interaction happen? Because the gauge is the whole freaking game. Like, that's the important stuff. So getting that to work is more important than getting like the UI pop up with the menu, the menu options, and even selecting your equipment isn't more important, because for testing I can just inject the equipment. But I always think I want to do it from top to bottom. I want to build all the windows and then get all the windows working, and then I build the game. And that is just a bad idea. Did it rebuild? And I'm kind of giving myself another 30 minutes. Because like I said, did not get a lot of sleep last night. Well, not everyone heard that, but you heard it now. So I'm gonna keep it a short night, and I'm gonna make a sincere effort to actually get to bed before or by 12. If I go to bed by 12, that's like golden. That's early for me, but it's still like, that's me getting good sleep. If I go to bed at 11, I'm truly not feeling good and I'm super tired. And then if I go to bed at 10, there's something really effed up with me. When I had COVID, I was going to bed at like 9:30 or 10. Good. It's not working. Perfect. Just what I was hoping would happen. Let me see here. Oh, right. I know why. Okay. It is working. I just missed a core step. Excuse me. Hey, Staffy. How are ya? What's going on? Doing any gaming lately? I called you Staffy. Oh, stop. Elaborate and listen. Staff is back with a brand new invention. Something. Staff's a holding me tightly. Flow like a staffy. Daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo. I don't know. Turn off the staff and I glow. Bye, Staff. It's like, okay, I'm out of here. Staff's too chill for that. I want to play your game again, but I'm probably not going to play it tonight. Because I have to beat it. I'm old enough to know that's Vanilla Ice. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. 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 Word to your mother. Back when rappers did not put swearing in their lyrics. Well, not all of them. Some of them still did. Okay, come on. I thought I rebuilt. Did I rebuild? What am I at? Fishing menu node. Fishing spot node. Can I do that? Start. Maybe the reeling is a problem. Get any errors? No. Let's just confirm. Yeah, don't tonight if you want good sleeping hours. Yeah, I can't. I got Saturday night. I can do it again. I'm gonna beat it. I have to. I have to beat your game. It's like a matter of pride now. Okay, so is this getting the right thing? Start fishing. Should be okay. Go to the reeling node and see if this is doing it. If the runner isn't locked, or this is not the owner, okay, so then, oh, I know, hold on. Actually, I think it. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so that should be fine. I did have a lot of fun playing the game. I mean, and frustrations. Those signs just killed me. Like that it like right in a spot where you're like, I don't want to talk to you, sign, go away. And the sign would just keep talking to you. Leave me alone, sign. I saw the sign. So if I can, in the next 20 to 30 minutes, what we'll do, sometimes I feel like I should get more done. What we'll try to do is show the little gauge and make it so when I press the space bar, it wheels. And if I have more time, I'll make it do more things. Baby steps. Oh no, I don't want to fight you. No. I'm a pacifist. I think I actually have a better save. I think this one just skips it. Is the problem now it's not hitting my code? Oh wait, I'm getting. No, that's not the issue. Okay. Is the problem something else? What is going on here? So you're saying it's not working by design? Sorry, I'm like this. What do you call a mouse with a potty mouth? A cursor. Good one. Potty mouth or potty mouse? No, okay, so now it's not working. Is it my null thing? But I thought it worked afterwards. This should not be causing a problem. Story jumper equals current jumper. Oh, well, Go to the first node. It's not executing this. It has to be in here that the problem is occurring. So if I said that, will I find something? What has two butts and kills people? An assassin. Or how do they do their jobs? They use sass because they're as assassin. Or maybe it's a sin and it's sass. Never mind. Time to put console logs, cowabungas. Joe Blow calls them cowabunga-oriented programming. If you put in E at the end, cowabunga oriented programming excellence, then you'd be coping. Does Joe Blow not like doing that? Jablo? Okay, so we have the jumper. I wonder what it's finding as the node. Should only be one. Okay, well, what is that node? I should get the name of it. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious. Well, no, I was wondering if it was like there was a name to it, I guess. Like, not a name to it. I was wondering if J Blow actually likes the method or not. That's what they're like, cowabunga oriented. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just was wondering if there was like if it was a joke by J Blow saying, "Don't do it" or something. Because you cowabunga oriented programming sounds like tongue in cheek. Like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You should just use your debugger. Which my builds take long enough as it is without my debugger on. I don't want to put my debugger on. It takes another 10 plus seconds. That's why I don't use my debugger. I would use my debugger all the time if it wasn't quite so painful to build with it. I like debuggers because you can go exactly in the code. You can look at all the things. All right, what do we got? Jumping to fishing cast. Why is it? Oh, right. Because my jumper method right now is stupid. Got it. That's why it's not working. Because I did this stupid thing. Right now, I'm just finding like any node that's free, which is a bad idea. So we're going to delete those two. He does all the time because there's probably no other way since he's doing low-level stuff in the compiler, and sometimes he gets frustrated. Yeah, because debuggers aren't great all the time, and you can't always capture the problem. And there's issues that are based on timing that you literally can't solve with a debugger. Or if you did figure out how to solve a debugger, you're spending more time being able to replicate the condition than just putting statements in. Because sometimes the debugger fixes problems. You're like, oh, I'll hit a debug breakpoint, and then I'll hit play, and like, it worked. Yeah, because there's probably a race condition. So to solve a race condition problem, you can't use something that stops the timing and makes the race condition resolve. Like your debugger, it's like, you know, the whole what is the paradox? The cat in the box one? Why is my brain not working? Schrodinger's cat. You know, by the act of measuring changes how it works. Which is legit, right? At least with the bug breakpoints, you can see what's going on better. So here we are. Okay. Here we are in this stupid place. So that was in the menu node, right? Now the start fishing node. Why is this not working? Oh, right. Because supposed to be this. All right, this should work. It happens to a lot of us, yes. We create our own problems, and then we fix them sometimes. It's basically like the Wreck-It Ralph movie. Because those movies, there's like, I don't know the story theme, but there's a story theme where the main character creates their own problem and goes on a journey of self-discovery to fix it. And Wreck-It Ralph is that movie, right? Because each movie, that one and the second one, I don't know if everyone's watched that movie. I like cartoon movies or animated movies. But in each movie, he creates his own problems. And then he has to solve it. It's not some external antagonist. He literally is the cause of his own sadness. He started it, essentially. You too. You create your own problems. Whereas other movies, there's a very clear antagonist that is externally threatening. Oh, you like cartoon movies or animated movies? Yeah. There we go. I think the reason he didn't do anything is because the player wasn't locked, but that's okay. So we've got that to show. That's fine. And I can actually do... That'll create the animation. Lock player control. Throw the fishy thingy. I've always liked cartoony movies. My eldest daughter told me something interesting. She must be like me because she says she doesn't share with her friends the things she watches because her friends would judge her because she likes to watch cartoon and other things. And I was like, oh, I know how that feels. I just learned how to accept it at some point. I wonder why the animation doesn't work. That's weird. Is it fish cast? What is it? Sorry. Is it because this must be a different animation? Let me see. No, it's Sage. Or whatever the character is. Fish Tug? I love the names. Okay, so then let's change the orientation so the character is facing down. I thought this was supposed to work. Starting rotation. What was it? Rotate? There you go. Why is that so skinny? Why did I do that? Weird. Down. I think because we just don't use the player one much. Immediate, it doesn't really matter, actually. I'm still running. Rotate down, don't change the rotation. Fish cast is player. Should work, I think. Add weight. One more time. Not really critical. I just want to see if I can get it to play the casting animation. Maybe 1 second's not enough time, actually. Let's give it more time. Give it 3 seconds. Three seconds is going to feel like a long time. It's not playing the animation for some reason. Why would it not? Did it change character? Don't know why I'm hung up on this, but it's annoying me. Change character graphic. There's something weird about the play motion that doesn't work, I don't think, all the time. So try that one. Review. Motion is fish. I debated whether I wanted to use Node for this, but it's just such a Node-based solution. Like it's state-based in a game. Like it's kind of nice to have nodes, because I can move things around or change the sequence without having to go write code. Well, that time it just freaking went. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so let's make this fishing thing happen. Okay, so we're starting fishing, right? So let's make fishing. Fishing game controller. We're gonna open the gauge window and we're gonna say this dot is fishing equals true. We're gonna unload this, process fishing. I don't really care about this part yet. What we're gonna do is just comment out basically everything. Do I do anything with buttons here? I think so. Reel in, baby. So we're gonna need to make the fish move, which means we have to do something with distance. I think I have distance in here, don't I? Distance to catch. Example to reel the fish in completely. Oh, I see. But I don't have a current distance on here. What did I do here? Sorry, I have this. Anyone ever get that thing where your ear just hurts inside? Oh, it hurts so bad. I love this. I love being able to enable and disable things. Just from there. Okay, so we'll go here. Tension bar, reel bar. This is the distance meter. Can you have what is the distance on this? So this is because what? The pivot point is set to the right. Which I should do it by the center or the left, I think. Oh no, the pivot point is set centered, so I should do it to the right. Is it that one? That's the left, I think. We make it 1. We say 0. Okay. So that way, even though it's a negative number, it is moving from right to left. Or I could make it set this way. And if I make that 0, make that 0. Right, it's all part of the same bar. It's not bad though, because then I can have it start with a positive value and then get smaller. And I don't really want it to care. Like what I want to do, I don't want to care about the exact number. I want to put the fish in here somewhere. And when the fish is overlapping the rod or it's touching the rod, then you've caught it. So I really don't even want to care about its position. But I do like the idea that I'm doing a subtraction as opposed to an addition, or yeah, a subtraction that it uses positive value. So, so I'm going to start the fish here no matter what right now. But theoretically, I could put the fish somewhere else later. Laser burn, where have you been? That's the question. Why have you deserted me? Why have you forsaken me, Laser burn? And actually, the fish should probably start like right there or something. Because this would be escaping. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So I would have to know what the max value is, though, right? I'd have to know if it's at the outer edge. How do I want this to work? I'm pretty sure calculating bounds of boxes is actually not easy. I can't just say give me. I can get the top left and the bottom right. I think if I turn it into a rect. You had a breakdown. Oh no, Burn, Z. Are you less broken down now and more up and at 'em? Sorry to hear that. It sucks. I don't know why I called you Burnsy. I'm sorry. It just came naturally. Private game object. So what I should be able to do, I think I'm not going to worry about the boundary. I'm just going to make it slowly move to the right. And then if I push the space bar, I want it to move left. That's what it is. So I've added that object. I'm going to need to add it to the thing. And I don't really want to care about the fish gauge. So I want to tell the fish gauge to reel in, right? Look at that, just wrote it. So transform position, new position equals plus tension, but I need a minus tension, right? Maybe it should be a negative number. Eager to get back into things. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm sorry to hear about the crappiness, but I'm glad that you are on the rebound. And I hope that it stays that way, for sure. Is that right? No, because then it becomes a negative number. So adding is it's just the wrong direction entirely. It needs to be subtracting. Are you still running? I mean, are you back to running? If you had a bit of breakdown, maybe you weren't running for a while. We don't want the Z position though. We want the X. So it's going to be. Who knows what'll happen here? If we're reeling fish, okay, you know, I'm not even going to worry about it going backwards. I'm just going to reel the fish. That's it. If we're pushing the button, the fish is being reeled. I don't care about the math. We're just going to remind ourselves that we're just trying to get something working. We can be done. So in this case, I'm going to use this game controller. I could almost make an event where when this is happening, but I'm going to control it by the game control. It's not that. It's controller dot. Should I do UI action? No, I want to do current user actions dot decide is rest. That actually is. Oh, look at that. This dot gauge window. How did I do that? I thought I did it in the fishing gauge window. Public void real fish. Oh, I should call it the gauge window instead of a UI window. Okay. Mostly because of my surgery. Oh, right. You had the surgery with your jaw, and that's why you had to break down. Okay. Are you... Is your jaw functioning now, or is it still in the healing process? So this should theoretically work. Tension is going to equal... I'm going to make it equal, what, 0.2F or something like that? What happens? I mean, mostly because of my surgery. Oh, right. I thought you'd responded. Sorry. I was reading a little note on the artwork that's happening. I started this, will it? No, I need to hide it. I need to put something that closes all those windows on start, but I don't have that set up right here. All right. Next step. Can you imagine being one of those developers that just like... I think I say this every stream. Just have all everything about while we're doing things. Okay. Unassigned reference because I never set the fish. Right. I have to go into here. And here. And find... Let's play Find the Fish. I need to organize that better for sure. Can do soft foods, but anything more is no go. Okay, that's a bummer. How much longer do you have in terms of healing? I can't stop this healing. You know, it's funny at my work. I used to. I mean, I'm pretty goofy. For being a CTO that gets serious at times, I'm also pretty goofy. And I get on phone calls and I just start singing at people. I don't know if they like it or not, but I do it anyway. I'm not sure. I have an appointment on next Monday. Okay. Well, I hope that you have progress. Okay. There we go. Look at that. I'm reeling the fish. Y'all, that's the step. I mean, the fish goes forever, but just to be clear, you've been a pretty cool CTO. I think I intimidate people, apparently. I don't think if any of my devs watch me stream, I don't think they'll ever be intimidated by me again. But I do intimidate people. And the thing is, I do have like a lighthearted attitude, but I get really serious when I'm trying to like process solutions, and I don't have the energy to be not nice, but to be like, to carefully craft my words so someone doesn't take offense. Thankfully, most developers don't actually take offense, because a lot of them are like, oh, tell me more about how I can be better at this stuff, right? And so I just tell everyone what I think. But I know that it is a personality trait that also can be hard. If people interpret what I'm saying as meaning something about themselves, being poor at something, or not good, or good enough. And I certainly will tell someone if there's something that I think is not, not working and that they need to correct. And if someone asks me a question directly, I have a hard time not being honest. But I've learned how to temper my responses, because it's not really about like whether the person's a good person or whatever. It's just about what they need to work on and where I see the challenges. Look at this. I lived up to my my notice. It's weird that there's like a little like shadow that happens. Doop, doop. So the reason this is important, really important, is that this is the guts of the game. Of the fishing game, not the whole game, obviously. Yeah, the animations that show tension, that's going to be really important so you can visually see it. But this is a big step. Everything around the fishing game besides this is just the setup. This is where all the magic is going to happen. So now the next thing I have to do, and I'll probably hopefully have some of this working before Saturday, is get the guts of the actual like interactions going. So where the fish goes forward and back, and all that stuff. Yeah, the fish icon is grass. That's a gill though. I thought it was a smiley face, and Jacob's like, no, that's a gill. I was like, oh well, it looked like a smiley face to me. Part of me still wants to make it so like when you're reeling it in, the gill turns into a frown. It's just like a frowny face. In consulting, I learned to be brutally honest. There's no time for people feeling, well, yeah, and you're charging by the hour in consulting, right? You have to be direct. But I'm just going to be real. People, yeah, I'm going to go in chat mode because I'm going to be wrapping up. My experience, and I swear that while I'm not in the spectrum as far as my daughter is, I know that I have ASD markers because of the way I interact with people. I am constantly considering that anything I say is offending somebody. And I have to like check in, like, did that offend you? Are you upset? I know I've been, people get upset at things I say. I'm not trying to be upsetting, but this is what's happening, right? But here's the reality. Especially with people that would be neurotypical. No matter how nicely you say something, here's my theory from experience. No matter how nicely you craft a message, if the intent of that message is properly understood, people will genuinely get upset if they're geared towards it. Like if they are going to reflect and say, be hurt by the message you're trying to give. It doesn't matter how much you sugarcoat it, how softly or nicely you say it, they will get upset or offended by it. And granted, there are people who can tell you to your face something that is offensive and you laugh it off or like you hear it, but like it doesn't offend you. Like you internalize it, but like those people are amazing humans. They're able to give you messages in a way that you can hear it and not be upset. I can't do that. And so really it's me saying, I have never been able to craft a message that gets the point across without someone being upset. And I've done things where I've spent like a half an hour getting the message across. Hey, this is how I feel about this. This is what I experienced. This is, blah 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 blah. Like I've tried I'm trying not to be offensive or offend you, but here's what I think. Like there's so many different ways I've tried, and it's never worked for me. And so I realized like I can spend an hour trying to get people to feel good about my answer and not being sure if they truly understand. Because typically, if they don't understand the message, then they go continue doing the same thing. Or I can just cut to the chase. I don't want to waste more time on this. I'm just going to cut to the chase. And there are people who are willing to take their time, and those are amazing humans. I can't do it. I just can't. I don't have the energy for it. So anyhow, I'm going to wrap up now because I did commit. I committed to getting the reeling working in terms of showing the reeling. It's not working, but whatever. It's the first step, and I think that's pretty good for a night in which I'm trying to end early. I started early, so I guess it's the same timing, but I wanted to get what I wanted to get done, and I actually feel accomplished tonight. Hey, Fox Hollow, thanks for being here. I like your bow tie still. Who should we go raid? I think I was gonna raid Jitspo last time, but he wasn't working on dev. Nice to have you here, Fox. Oh yeah, Jitspo's working on his game. We should go check. This is cool. This is a cool FPS, like retro style. Spook is what it's called. Okay. Yeah, Laser Burn. I'm glad that you were coming around. I'm sorry you had your issues, but feel free to hit me up on the Discord if you ever need to chat. I'm especially anytime. But if you're having issues, you want to chat, I'm here too. Those are the hype things. If you want to send them, we're gonna go pop over to the Jitspo. You all have a lovely evening. I'll be back on Saturday, and I'll be playing. I'll be working on fishing, but then I'm going to be playing Stoff's Jam game again. Fun time. Yeah, Burn. I'll see you later. You all have a lovely night, and I'm going to go get some sleep at some point soon. Bye.